Right here. See this case right here? She told me this didn't exist, but here is saying this is a real case. Kelly versus Citizens Bank in Russell. That's the building I was in today. 227 bankruptcy 196 bankruptcy Middle District of Georgia 1998. The Middle District of Georgia case confirms a trustee's power under to avoid the post-petition perfection of a security interest. A deed is a security interest. Hello. That was unperfected. It was not recorded, so it was unperfected when the bankruptcy case was filed. So the Middle District of Georgia case confirms a trustee's power under 549A to avoid the post-petition perfection of a security deed that was unperfected when the case was filed. So my case, the what Wells Fargo recorded the deed when they sold the home, it was unperfected. Just because you sold the home, the title still was not recorded in DeKalb County. But she's saying screw all that. In my particular case, Georgia law overrides federal law. In my particular case, she adopted the Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo didn't even say anything. She basically adopted what Wells Fargo had said in their filing when they filed it on. We had to be in a court on June 3rd, July 3rd, which was my birthday, so we had to be there. Let's see if you had the date, June 5th, July 8th. So, but I didn't get that in the mail until after July 8th, because who knows when Wells Fargo sent it to me, because they recorded the deed on June 5th. So they knew we had to be in court on July 8th. They waited to file me that information to let me know that they recorded the deed on June 5th. And so they've been coordinating with all kind of courts. Everybody knows that they were going to do this. The United States government gave them the go-ahead to do this because they're the ones that put me in this position to begin with. They got the neighbors harassing me. They got the neighbor next door still banging on the walls. They have sent by 3 military helicopters within the last 20 minutes, fluttering their helicopter wings because, you know, something's wrong with them. They think they're eagles, so they send helicopters by my home because they like to take passages from the Bible, misinterpret them, and then terrorize and persecute Christians. So that's what the United States government gets off doing with your tax dollars. Your tax dollars. This is what they get off doing. They're not helping anybody. They're not helping anybody. They're over here harassing people. And they're paying people to harass other people and then lie about it. Lie about it. Because I'm going to call some people on the stand because we have a hearing. The judge scheduled a hearing, so that allows, she said, I can bring whatever evidence I want. So I'm going to subpoena some people. So I hope they show up in court and they explain their participation in all of this because it's going down. It's happening. It's absolutely happening. Everybody show up, be ready, be there because it's going to be live. It's absolutely going to be live because I have the opportunity to question the individuals who have been gang stalking me in federal agencies. I have that right. I'm afforded that right. And so I'm going to exercise that right because I'm afforded that right. So let's see if the individuals that I subpoena, if they show up or if they continue to obstruct justice, like the FBI, gBI, DOJ, where they have refused to respond to FOIA requests. You're supposed to respond to FOIA requests within 20 days upon receipt. Okay, it has been now 125 days that every agency in the United States government, law enforcement, has refused to respond to a FOIA request. And there have been several. I published them in my books. You can see the FOIA requests there. You can see which agencies I called, what information I asked for. I've asked for military flight surveillance, them paying the neighbors off to bang on the wall, targeting civilians, things like that. They ignore it. They send another helicopter of the home. They still got the neighbors banging on the wall. She just banged on the wall a second ago. Leah Patrice Jones Menace. They have them do it all day long. And then they have the court judges, getting an attitude with pro se litigants, both judges in my cases, both judges. Okay, no leeway when you're asking questions. Latanya, you cannot interrupt because we're recording. Both judges are like that. Okay, but then when you get ready to ask a question, you have your hand raised. They look down, pretend like they don't see you, and then you want to make another statement, they don't address you or they don't allow you to, they just move on. So that's basically what happened today. I didn't really get a full opportunity to present the information that I want because they wanted this to go to a hearing. They wanted this to go to a hearing because they want to use my case to try to override other cases in the United States. Because this doesn't just apply to my case, this applies to the federal circuit throughout the United States. If the judge allows Wells Fargo to override federal bankruptcy law and say that Georgia law stands because they had the highest bid on May 5th, even though the sale was not perfected because they did not hold the title. They did not secure the title until June 5th. June 5th, but the judge is saying that's irrelevant. She's saying they owned the home May 5th when it was sold at the highest bidder. Georgia law does not state that. I pulled up the code I showed you earlier, but she doesn't care about that. She doesn't care about that because everybody's on the same page